All right, I have your permission to record this to distribute for the blog ImpalerExposed.info. Do I have your permission?
Yes, you do.
Okay, and by doing that, I would have to put it on YouTube to, as a device to get it on, to put it on the site. You're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had your permission. Melissa, your daughter has been preyed upon by Jonathan the Impaler Sharkey. Take us through the beginning of that. How did you find out about this?
A little over a week ago, which would be last Wednesday, April 30th, I was at work, working my shift, and I'm a cashier at a local store. I went on my 15-minute break, and as I was sitting down at my break, I decided to check my Facebook and just scroll through it just for something to do while I was taking my break. When I opened up my folder, I saw that on the Facebook Messenger app I had a message. So I opened it up to see who it was from, and there was this message from this man by the name of Jonathan Sharkey. No idea who he was, so I opened up the message, and it was an extremely lengthy message. If it was to actually be typed out on paper, I would say it would probably be about 4 pages long. This man proceeded to tell me that he is my daughter's fiancé, and that he has been dating my daughter for 2 months, and that he is planning to marry her with or without my permission. And he proceeded to state that there was 4 ways that he could do that. One was to have her emancipated when she turned 16. Second was to impregnate her when she turned 16. Thirdly was to have $10,000 put aside that he was currently doing so that he could take me to court. And the 4th way was for me to just go ahead and sign off on the marriage certificate and allow my 16-year-old daughter to marry this 50-year-old pervert. He also proceeded to say that I am a child abuser, that my daughter has been telling him that I've been abusing her, which is all lies. I don't abuse my children, never have. I love my children. Slapping my daughter in the mouth when she's mouthy is not constituted as abuse. This man threatened to contact the governor's office, the Russian government, to see that I was convicted and tried for child abuse and put away. Proceeded to tell me he was going to marry my daughter and impregnate her. Told me that if he was governor of the state of Florida, he would find me guilty of child abuse, and he would convict me, and my sentence would be to beat me, torture me, impale me, dismember me, and lastly decapitate me and put my head on display for all other parents in the world to see that if you abuse your child, this is your punishment. This message was extremely disturbing. Then he proceeded to accuse me of asking me what kind of mother am I that I would allow. He said a couple of weeks ago, your daughter told me that you were going to allow a 17-year-old boy that she hardly even knows to come into your home and sleep with her. What kind of mother allows that? Yeah, he's a 50-year-old man asking my daughter to tell me about them so that to see if I would chaperone them on dates. That I would allow my daughter at 15 to go out with a 50-year-old man and agree to accompany them and chaperone them. I mean, after that disturbing message, I was absolutely hysterical. I started hyperventilating. I was crying. I had to go and tell my manager I had to leave. I had to go home. After I also read that message, I also happened to venture onto his Facebook page and saw that he had taken pictures of himself with my daughter, showing that this man had made actual face-to-face contact with my underage child at a local park here in my neighborhood. He drove all the way across the state of Florida from Tampa to where I live on the East Coast to meet my daughter in a park in our neighborhood.
And that's roughly about 2 hours away, correct?
Yes, it's about, it's depending on traffic and stuff, it says 2 hours, but it's as the crow flies, so roughly between 2.5 hours you're looking at.
Okay.
I know my sister lives in Tampa. She drove up here for my nephew's birthday, April 16th. It was his 1-year birthday, and it took her 2.5 hours to get here.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're looking at about roughly 2.5 hours drive for him to travel over here to meet with my 15-year-old minor child. My manager told me to go. I pulled up the pictures of the two of them and showed them to my manager. She said, go take care of what you need to take care of. Go and let us, keep us posted. I came home. I called the police as soon as I got in my vehicle. The police met me at my house. I filled out a statement, filed a report against this man, printed out the message that he had sent me, gave it over to the police, printed out the picture of him and my daughter that he took of the two of them together at the park, head-to-head shot, him looking in the camera smiling. My daughter wouldn't even look into the camera. She didn't even look like she was even thrilled to be taking the picture to begin with. The very next morning, at about 11 o'clock, my phone beeped, telling me I had another message. And I opened it up and looked, and here is a picture that Jonathan sent me of myself sitting on my couch in my living room with my dog in my lap. One of his scare tactics, I guess, to maybe make me think that he's been watching me through my windows or something, when come to find out it was just he didn't send any message to it, he didn't say anything, he just sent up the picture, like warning me, I'm watching you. Basically is the way I took it. And
you've unknowingly met him before this without you knowing who he was at the time. Could you explain that?
Yes, that is correct. In this letter that he sent, the very first message that he sent me on Wednesday night, April 30th, specifically stated, we have met at your job, and he gave the actual name of where I work, which I'm going to keep out of that.
No, that's fine.
He mentioned that he met me at my job, although it was unofficially, because he didn't tell me who he was. And this was on March 29th, 2014. This was the date that he met my daughter at the park. And after he left my daughter at the park, he came to my job. And I am a cashier, like I stated. He came through my checkout line and actually had a conversation with me. I don't recall what the conversation was. I keep racking my brain about seeing this man, but he said he stated where I worked, and he came to my job, and he came through my checkout line, had a conversation with me, and then he proceeded to say, let me officially introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Sharkey. I am your daughter's fiancé. And he continued from there. So this man has actually made an appearance to me without me even knowing who he was. That was March 29th, and I didn't find out about this man until April 30th. So a whole month later, I finally became aware of this man. That morning, I called when I got that picture. I called the police back out to the house because they told me anything else occurs, call them, they will come back out to the house. I called them back out to the house. At that point, too, I'd also gone on his Facebook page to see if he had made any more comments about me, which, lo and behold, to my surprise, he did. He was threatening to do a satanic ritual on me, said that he was going to put Lucifer's hex touch on me, which I am a born-again Christian. Contrary to Jonathan's beliefs, I do believe in God. I do walk with God. I don't believe in hexes and curses, and all of that will just come back on him 100-fold, so I'm not even worried about that, or his threats of putting curses on me. The police came out, talked to me, I printed out all the copies of everything once again, gave them everything. Shortly after the police left, I get a car pulling into my driveway, just an ordinary unmarked car, and a squad car pulls in right behind. Mm-hmm. Round two. I get a knock at the door, and I'm already at that point. The police had just left my house probably about a half hour before this unmarked car pulled in with two more police officers. I was crying. I was trying to talk to my daughter and ask her, what was going on, and why was she telling. I was trying to have a conversation with my daughter about all this stuff and explain the seriousness of what she's done. And I get a knock at the door. I open the door, and there's a DCF officer standing there with two more police officers. She came in. She talked to me. She took pictures of my daughter for recent pictures. Apologized to me profusely for even being there because she did not know that I'd already had a case going against this man for what he's said and done. Being 50 years old, having relations with a 15-year-old minor child. She said as far as she's concerned, the minute she walked out my front door, that this case was unfounded. She took my daughter, her and one of the officers took my daughter into my daughter's bedroom and had a private conversation with her where her answers were not influenced by my presence. He told my daughter told them that yes, she exaggerated, and she lied to Jonathan regarding the child abuse. It was an attention thing. Now, for the record for my daughter, she has disabilities. She was diagnosed with Asperger's autism at the age of 7. She was diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 5. Between the age of 5 and 7, she was also diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar. Now, for people that don't know about Asperger's autism, if you look into it with all of her counselors and all the therapists and psychiatrists she's gone to see, Asperger's people, not just children, but anybody with Asperger's, they tend to seek attention that is negative more than they do that is positive, because they get more attention if they do or say negative things. They tend to get more attention that way, and they feel more love because even if it's negative attention, they're still getting attention and they're feeling more love. Versus doing things positive, they don't get the attention that they're looking for. So that being said, her negative reactions was to tell this Jonathan that I was abusing her and making things up. Yes, she's been disciplined. Yes, I'll smack her in the mouth when she yells and screams at me. That is discipline. The police officer has even told Evan, asked her specifically, the commander of the SWAT team, sat right here in my living room and asked my daughter, what do you consider abuse? My daughter looked at him and said, hitting. And he said, wrong answer. He said, that is not abuse. Your mother has every right to smack you in the mouth if you're mouthing off to her. Your mother has every right to put you over her knee and spank your butt to the belt, as long as she doesn't bruise you, break the skin, draw blood, or use any type of capital punishment on you. That is not considered abuse. It is called discipline. He said he is a single father with 5 kids, and he has 2 children that have Asperger's autism as well. And he said if she was his daughter, she'd be eating through a straw. He knew she would have his foot so far up her butt, she would be able to sit down for a month.
Now you found out that, I'm sorry, you found out that your daughter did have there was an intimacy issue. He did kiss her. You found out about that. When you found out about that, was that part of the same report, or is that a different one? And could you elaborate?
That I found out on Monday, this past Monday, which was the 5th of May. I've been asking my daughter, did he touch you? Did he kiss you? No. He didn't do anything. No. On Monday, I had gone down to the courthouse to file a restraining order against this man for myself and my daughter. Went down to the courthouse. On the way to the courthouse, just fill in the pieces as I go along to get to that point, I get a call that's going into the courthouse parking lot from the DCF officer. She said that she needs the name of the detective on the case because she had more information for him regarding Jonathan. Jonathan had sent the DCF worker that came to my house a threatening letter because she did not file charges, which doesn't surprise me because he's done this in the past. He's threatened other government officials, so it's not beyond him to do this to the DCF worker. He also spoke with the director of DCF and also called the governor's office and reported them regarding the fact that they didn't file charges against me for child abuse. You can't file charges on something that's not there. If it's not founded, it's not there. It's not there.
Right.
So she said she had this information, and they also looked it up for statutes, for the statute of lascivious behavior. Anybody over the age of 18 that kisses anybody under the age of 16 on the mouth is considered lewd and lascivious behavior and is considered oral sex. The director of ATF has proceeded to contact these detectives and told them they want charges brought against this man now. But on my way back from the courthouse, I got a screenshot message from Richard Molinax. He sent me a screenshot message of something that Jonathan had posted on his Facebook. He posted that DCF was more concerned about him kissing a minor on the mouth than they were about arresting me for child abuse. And he proceeded to state that heaven is right, that there is no justice for her. At that point, I had my daughter in the car, and so there was the smoking gun right there that he did kiss her. So I turned and I looked at my daughter, and I started crying hysterically, trying to dry. And I said, we're going straight back to the police department right now, Evan. I said, this man just admitted on Facebook that you kissed him, that he kissed you. Is this true? And she said, no. And I said, Heaven, it's right here. Look it. And I showed her my phone of his Facebook post that he admitted to kissing her at the park. And I said, did he kiss you? And after 10 minutes of trying to get it out of her, she finally said, yes, he did. I said, now I need you to be honest and tell me the truth. Was it a peck on the cheek? Was it a peck on the lip? Or did he stick his tongue in your mouth? And she said, he stuck his tongue in my mouth, Mom. I took her right back to the police department, and I sat the detective down, and I showed them that post, and my daughter spoke to them and told them that, yes, this man kissed her, and yes, he stuck his tongue in her mouth.
Now,
this man is disgusting.
He is. Now, you mentioned about getting a restraining order. You have a hearing coming up, is that correct?
That is correct. The judge did approve it. I tried calling them later that day regarding the restraining order, like they told me to. They hadn't heard anything. They said that the paperwork was still with the judge. So they told me to call back in the morning and see if the judge, if the judge approves it or denies it. So I called back at 8 o'clock in the morning. They said that the judge still has the paperwork. So they told me to call back in a couple of hours. I called back at 10. And they said the judge approved the temporary order of protection. You can come in and pick up your paperwork in an hour. It'll be ready for you to pick up. And you'll get your hearing date. Now, my hearing date is set for May 14th at 8:45 a.m. in the morning to see if the judge goes ahead and files a permanent order of protection against this man for me and my daughter.
Once again, Melissa, thank you so much. And, of course, I will do whatever I can, along with many others, to help support you and to, if we can't bring justice, then at least shine a big spotlight on him. So, again, understand you are not alone. You have support, and we'll be watching him.
Thank you. And I appreciate everything you have done as well. Rick, you've been a godsend. I mean, you tried to contact me numerous times to warn me about this man. Unfortunately, I had already found out about him by the time you had gotten through to me, but I do appreciate everything you've done. I mean, you went above and beyond your call as a citizen, not having anything to do with my family, not having any, relation to my family, but you did what you wanted, what you needed to do to get in touch with me to see that I was warned about this man with my child. But I appreciate all of that.
Well, it was my honor, and it was my duty to help. You know, there are others too. I'm not alone. You know, at least in public, I don't have their consent to mention their names, but you have a lot of people who are with you, support you, and have been watching this guy for a long time, and will keep doing it until there's no longer a need to. And even when that's done, he has created a legacy, and that legacy is that he is a disturbed, deranged man with ridiculous fantasies, and that's his legacy, and I'm going to make sure people understand that, because people like him, they don't rehabilitate. They are who they are. So, again, that's been my mission. That's been my end game. I don't have any, you know, I never had personal hatred for the man up until the things that I've seen that he's been doing as of late. Even with his other issues, it's just, he's a nut. That's what he is. You know, and sometimes you take a nut for what it is. But when you deal with underage children, and when those things come to light, you know, you have to take a stand. And so, again, thank you so much for your trust. That can't be easy. You know, a lot of people, they would just want to put it in a box and be done with it. But this is, in my opinion, this is going to help a lot of people. To see him for what he's worth, and hopefully it'll prevent anything else from happening. But I guess time will tell on that. But that's all we can do, is use preventative measures at this point until justice is served.
I agree.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording right now.